The road feels nice and slick.
Here we are, everybody.
Ready to ride home. Don't you know? Well, it's not too hot right now. It's perfect. It just might storm. But I kind of don't care. I kind of just want to go over for a ride or something. My name is Morgan. This is MPG Everything for now. Long story short, I don't have a car. This is my daily rider. And you may or not be able to hear me, may or may not be something about the things I'm saying that you may not be able to hear because of wind. Anyways, I am also working on a Continental GT650 big bore kit conversion to an 865cc. So basically, I'm just going to do a little update video on that while I'm riding home from work. What we're doing is it's taken a lot longer to do than I thought it would. It's especially since we're not experienced, it's a two-person job. We got the hardest part done, and so I could probably do the rest myself, and I think I'm going to try to start doing it, but I'm not just going to like get it done immediately unless I just really go crazy with it somehow. But anyways, we are, what was I saying? What have I been saying? I apologize. I always keep the terminology confused. We got the cylinders in the block? Question mark? Are you turning? Thank you for using your turn signal at the last possible second. We got it in the block, which definitely requires two people. Someone has to hold it. So basically, the first few times we tried it, we were trying to put the cylinder heads on the rods and then use a clamp tool to get piston ring tool to clamp it and push it up in. But that was not good, and we didn't have something to lock the crank in place. So it was just a horrible situation. We had to like redo it, take the stuff out. Then we tried doing it by putting the heads or the cylinders in first, then hovering it, but even then the rods were at different positions and they'd move when you tried to push them down and stuff like that, and then it'd come out and you have to reposition it, or it would come, the cylinder rings would pop out and you have to take the whole cylinder back out, take it out because you have the timing chain going up through the block, I guess. So you had to take this timing chain back out, and you can't let it drop down in, right? The engine, the crankcase. So you have to take it back out. You have to move it. You have to get the pistons back in the block again, which you have to compress the piston rings and all that goodness. And so it's just kind of a nightmare, honestly. If you had the space and tools and knowledge, you'd probably take the engine completely out of the bike, but we don't have those things. So we are just, but finally, we got a tool to lock the crank in place. Just out of service? What's going on here? Alright, this Beamer's about to do something stupid, illegal. So now as soon as I'm ready to go, she's probably going to pull out in front of me. Are you... As I was saying, so we got, let's just show you here. So we got this on, the gasket's in there. Now we need to get the copper gasket cleaned and sprayed with this stuff. And you do a couple coats of that, I guess, let it dry each time on each side, and clean it beforehand. So as you can see, yeah, the cylinders are in there. This is still off. I have a gasket for this. Now there is a tool you can get to help get the timing right, and get the left cylinder to top dead center. There's two tools you need. I can't remember them right off the bat what they are, but one sticks into here, I think. One sticks into here, and there's another tool kind of like this that is shaped like the gears and sticks in like this, but this essentially does the same thing. And it's probably usable for, it is usable for other motorcycles. Maybe not all motorcycles, but not all motorcycles, but it can be used for other things. But there's another tool that you use up here on the head to position the cam properly. This was the hardest part, like as I was saying earlier, this was the hardest part, getting this thing with the cylinders attached to the rods, and the bearings that attach the rods and the pistons together are locked in with circlips on each side of the piston. And the circlips are shaped like this, but obviously much smaller and skinnier than my sausage hands, and they are difficult. Not difficult, I mean, obviously you don't want to drop them down in the crankcase and stuff like that. But my cousin Ethan that was helping me with this, he's dealt with those before, and he's really good at this sort of thing. So he took care of that, and I held the block up while he did those. And whoever's holding the block, you cannot pull too much or whatever. You can't move too much. You have to feel it and let the other person kind of guide you a little bit, because if you pull too much or push too much, you'll cut. If you're not using, I didn't end up getting a metal gasket like you can. If we ever do like a stroker kit and take this apart again, then I'll put a metal gasket in it. But it was just, I already had it, and it was easier just to use the gasket I had. But if you have, because obviously you need to have the gasket there while you're doing this, otherwise you're gonna have to take everything back apart and then put the gasket back, right? So make sure your gasket's there. So when you're if you're the person standing over here holding the block, you can't push down too hard, because if the gasket's not on properly, it'll get pinched and ripped. And then you gotta start over. You need to get a new gasket. That's why you should probably get a metal one, but I think we'll be fine for now. You can't pull too hard, because then the pistons, and it's very, very close. The pistons need to stick out of the bottom so you can put in the bearings and the circlips, right? But if you pull it a little bit too far, the piston rings will pop out, and there's no getting them back up in there. You have to take everything back apart, take the piston out, and then put it back in the top. We put it on the table and put the piston back in with this for the pistons. So you have to put it back in, which, as you can see, the timing chain's being held. So like if you need to redo everything, you gotta take the timing chain out, you gotta get it out of these guiding things, and it's just like a tight space to work with. I can't tell you how many times we had to take this thing back out, put pistons back in. This tool helped a lot because it stopped crank from moving, so the pistons and rods don't like move and shift when you're pushing, trying to get the block down on. I would say this is pretty much essential if you want to give yourself a little bit of an easier time, because it's already hard enough. I still need to do the clutch. The next, I don't think it's going to be difficult in terms of like needing like more than one person, but the next really important thing is obviously getting everything back on, but then getting the timing correct. And that was a little bit weird. I think the guy I've been watching, I mean, I need to look up some more stuff, but anyway. But yeah, thanks for everyone's patience. I think I'm going to be able to mostly do the rest of this work, chip away at it by myself. It would be kind of nice to do it with my cousin, because it would just be fun bro time, you know? But it's just been taking so long. Now that we got the hard part done, I think I'm just gonna chip away at it by myself. Bird. So yeah, that's this thing. It's still in a bit of disarray. I'm most worried about remembering where all these electrical connections get plugged back into, but my cousin's really good with that stuff, so he might be able to just be here one day and get that knocked out. Also, I'm trying to get some merch set up, and obviously it's not like I'm expecting anyone to buy it, but if anyone wants to help support, obviously I did this all out of pocket, but I've got some stuff like this it's a print on demand, so you order it and wherever I decide to have my website, and then they make it and send it straight to you. So this is pretty cool. The wording's a little messed up on mine, but I got my cousin one and his was better, so I don't think I'm gonna change it. This is a pretty nice hat. I like this hat. I think I have 2 colors, and then there's some other merch that I'll have. If anyone wants to support, I would appreciate it. But obviously, it's your money. Do what you will with your money. Most of my followers seem to only care about this, but not everyone. I know a lot of people love the MT-09. This is the 25. This is my daily rider. I don't have a car currently, so that's pretty interesting. I might try and do daily videos of just living only on a motorcycle. I'm sure there's a lot of people who do that, but trying to video everything adds, because when you ride a motorcycle, things take longer usually, especially if you care about having your gear and trying to be safe, as safe as you can. Like, it takes longer. You have to get your jacket. If I go to the gym, I have to bring a backpack to store my stuff in, a separate pair of shoes. Oh, I forgot, I have a radiator guard I need to put on this thing. Also, this thing is almost ready for its first service, and I think I'll take it in before 600 miles. Because sometimes when it's leaning over like this on its kickstand and I start it, start it from cold especially, there's a loud clicking. Like, it does not sound like it's supposed to sound like. I wouldn't think it's supposed to be that loud. So I'm hoping the valves aren't being weird. Anyways, so it's at 500, 600 is the break-in, but I think I'm gonna try and take it in before that. Just get that done, and then I think I know what kind of exhaust. I think I'm gonna do the Yoshimura, whatever exhaust. The only thing with that exhaust is it seems like it's super loud, and I know people are like, oh, you get as loud as you can. I want it to sound good, not just be loud. There's a difference. And also I have neighbors that I don't want to hate me. Like, just being respectful to your fellow human, not blowing out eardrums and waking people up, especially since I get up sometimes at like 3:30 in the morning to go to work. Like, I don't want my neighbors to hate me, you know? I don't want to be disrespectful. And bikers get a bad enough rap a lot of times as it is, and getting a loud exhaust to spite your neighbors is not the way to go about things, alright? Remember that. Anyways, yeah, I have chicken strips because I ride on the street every day and I'm not an idiot. Anyways, so once the break-in's done and make sure I get a clean bill of health after the first service, make sure everything's good, it's time for an exhaust and a tune on this bad boy. I also have a different windscreen coming because this one, just on the highway, it just blasts wind. Obviously it's a naked bike, so you're going to get wind no matter what, but this literally points wind straight up into my helmet and makes it worse. And I'm a taller guy, so there's not much I can do. Maybe I could get one of those deflectors on top of this yet. Even that I don't think is going to work. So I got a lower screen, so I just get hit with wind, but it's just like the normal amount, and then it kind of just deflects out to the side. Yeah, the tail tidy I'm happy with. Bracket is from Vanguard Motors, I think. It's pretty nice setup. It's pretty sturdy as well. So yeah, between this and this, we've got some fun stuff coming, and I would like to drag race these two. I know they're not really comparable, and like they're not meant to be compared, but I don't care. They're both motorcycles. They're both fun. Now, eventually, if we could do a stroker kit on this, it actually might have more CCs than this bike. This is 890, I think. This is going to be 865, but with a stroker kit, which I think you have to take the whole engine out because you make the heads bigger, the rod, and then I would need to get like new forged rods that are longer, I'm pretty sure. I think you keep the pistons, as far as I know. I haven't looked into this very much, but my cousin said he's read something about it. Anyways, so this would actually have about the same power, maybe, close, as that with a stroker kit on it yet. Which would be very interesting. And if I don't upgrade the tires this time, then I will definitely have to upgrade the tires. Be very interesting. Ow! Anyway, that's kind of the update. Crazy. I can't thank the Lord enough. It's just like, what a wild journey. And I thank the Lord for it. I've asked for excitement in my life, and now I have no car. I'm building a motorcycle, and then I'm also things just lined up. Like, it felt like a divine gift. I don't know how else to describe it. And now I'm riding one of my dream bikes, like the SP nonetheless. Like, what in the world? Just amazing. Wow. Should I name them? I don't know. I've never really named my vehicles. Let me guys know what you think. Should I name them? I don't really know if I want to, but so anyway, yeah, that's the update for these. A lot of fun to be had. Thank you for watching. If you stuck around and find this at all interesting, and consider subscribing and hitting the button. Hopefully my video is still recording. Here, let's see. Yeah, it is. Hello. Perfect. Huh, there we go. So yeah, that's the plan. That be the plan, Stan. So yeah, stick around. Thank you for your interest in stuff. Goodbye. All right.